My name is Chris with Headlight Revolution. Today I'm going to show you guys how to upgrade the front turn signals in your 2017 Chevy Silverado. Now, the reason you might be looking to do this is for a brighter front turn signal. You might want to update the truck and make it look like some of the newer trucks on the market today that have LED turn signals from the factory, or you just might be looking for the cool style, the instant on, instant off that LED provides. No matter what you're looking for, we've got it all figured out. We've got the GTR Lighting Carbide Series bulbs we'll be installing today. I'm also going to show you how to wire in the resistors that you need to make these turn signals work properly. So let's get started. Alright guys, the turn signals in these 2017 Silverados are really straightforward, really easy to get at. The plug for it is just below the headlight itself. So if you reach down here, you can see that there's a little plastic plug that looks just like this. And what this does is it just goes in and twists clockwise to lock in, counterclockwise to pop it out. It's really slick. And the stock bulb just plugs in there like so. Remove the stock bulb and install the GTR Lighting Carbide Series bulb in its place. Now, here's the difference. I mean, it's a pretty cool, pretty significant difference. These Carbide Series bulbs are really slick, they're really bright. And they're one of the only things that even work in this truck. Now, we can go ahead and install these. If you get this installed and for some reason it doesn't power on, it's not a big deal. More often than not, these are polarity specific. And so if you plug it in one way and it doesn't work, pop it out, flip it around, and plug it in the other direction. That'll solve 95% of your problems. Now, take this bulb, reinsert it just the same way that it came out, and there you go. Now would be a good time to test the bulb and make sure that it works. Now, if you just installed it like this and didn't do anything else, your truck would act like the turn signal bulb is burned out when you hit the turn signal. It would flash rapidly, and that's not desirable. It's not going to hurt anything, but it's not what you want. We want it to work just the way it did from the factory. So, we got some resistors from GTR Lighting that we're going to install in this truck. And what these do is they have a specific resistance value that tricks the computer into thinking that the stock bulb is still there. It's really cool how these work. You just take them and mount them to a secure piece of metal. I'll show you exactly where to put them. Wire them to your turn signal wires, and you're done. First thing I like to do before I even get started with the wiring itself is I like to mount the resistor. And when I get the resistor mounted, I then know how much wiring slack I have to work with. It's important that you mount this to metal. It helps it dissipate heat, so don't zip tie it to like some wiring or anything like that. So, right there is just a fine spot, especially if you've got two batteries on your truck, like if it's a diesel or however it's equipped, that might make sense for you. Now, the headlight harness itself is right down here. So if you just grab onto that, follow it up, there's a little red tab on it. And if you pull the tab back and press the center of this, it'll come off. It's really straightforward. Take the wire loom and just pull it back. And you'll expose your headlight wiring. Now, this could differ from year to year and from model to model. It's very, very important that you do your own wire testing. I'm going to tell you the wires that we're connecting to for this particular truck, but to do it properly, you really should use a test light or a multimeter and verify which two wires control your turn signal. Now, we have a testing video on our channel, Headlight Revolution channel on YouTube, that'll tell you exactly how to test these wires and different methods and strategies for doing so. Basically what you want to do is find your ground and find your wire that blinks with turn signal. In this case, on this truck and this model, it was black for ground and blue with a white stripe for turn. Once again, I cannot stress this enough, that could change the next model year. It could change if you have a diesel. So you definitely want to test it on your own. Now I'm going to use this automatic wire stripper here just to bear these wires back. I apologize if the camera shot is not the best. It's kind of a tricky spot to get good quality footage in. But all that really matters is what we're accomplishing here. As you can see, I've now bared those 2 wires back. Now, I don't have any power going through those wires right now. I've already done my testing. And you're going to definitely want to make sure you're doing the same. Don't have your parking lights on, turn signals on, anything like that. What we're going to do here is take the GTR lighting resistor, strip one of the ends back, and connect it to one of those wires that we just stripped. So, this one I'm going to connect to the ground. It doesn't matter which one goes to which. It's not specific. So now I'll take my other wire and go to the positive blinker wire on the vehicle. Now GTR Lighting supplies T-taps in these kits, and you could certainly use one of those. We're located in northern Minnesota. We get some nasty winters and salt and corrosion and stuff like that, and it seems to get absolutely everywhere. So we prefer to solder our wires up here. If you're not really in that climate, or your truck doesn't see too much jostling or anything like that, a T-tap might be just fine. But soldering is the ultimate connection, and so that's what we do. So with your soldering iron, go ahead and solder those wires up. That should do it just fine. Now, some people ask us why we tape these and not heat shrink them. And with heat shrink, you have to completely sever the wire in order to get the heat shrink over it to then install the heat shrink properly. If I can prevent the complete severing of a wire, I'd like to when I'm doing an install. And the reason for that is if for some reason my solder connection fails here, the factory wire is still intact. It's not going to be broken. The truck will still have a working turn signal. It'll just blink quickly. Whereas if I completely severed it and then soldered it, chances are it'd be fine. But if it wasn't, and if it broke, the truck's turn signal wouldn't work, and that could be a safety concern. So that's the mentality behind that. All right, now we'll take this loom that was on it. When I can, I always try to reinstall that stuff. It's really good to have good abrasion resistance, you know. Throw a little tape on it just to hold it together. All right, plug that back in, press the red tab so that it's locked in place. And as you can see, we're all set here. Let's see how everything works. All right, guys, as you can see, the coolest difference between these two bulbs is the instant on and instant off of the LED. I like that a lot. Now, the brightness is also something that is pretty considerable. So if you're looking for a brighter turn signal option that's going to modernize the front of your truck, look no further than the Carbide Series bulbs from GTR Lighting. Thank you for watching our video. We've got a headlight video out on these trucks. We've got tail light, turn signals, reverse lights, you name it. Anything you're looking for, we've got it figured out for the 2017 Silverados. Thank you for watching.